All right, so I am going to show you guys um, how I make some minor adjustments to this video in Lightroom. So over here we have our normal image adjustment vocab that we've talked about before and worked with for our last project. So I could adjust certain things here just to kind of make it the way that I want it to be. You guys know how to do that already though. But what I really want to show you today is how to use the healing brush here and our regular brush tool for anyone that hasn't used these yet. So I'm going to start off with the healing brush, and you can adjust the size here, and the feathering is just how diffused the outside of it is. Normally the presets for these are pretty good. Opacity, I want it to be at 100, but you can see I can change the size here, and I am going to be working with these two little zits here on the model's face, just because they are a little bit distracting. For things like freckles though, or things like wrinkles, you want to keep those because if you get rid of them, well, it's going to look a little fake. And also, it's not going to be true to who the person is. And yes, people do get zits, but for this project, it's okay to use the healing brush just to kind of get rid of any kind of big distracting things like that. So you're just going to hover right over whatever imperfection you're trying to fix, and it's going to take a sample from a similar toned area. This you can move around, but I think that it's probably good. So then you can use it on the other one here. And there we go. It's already pretty much fixed. I think this is just a bump here. I'm going to leave that because I don't mind that. But now those two kind of more distracting little red marks are gone. Another thing that you can do is you can use the brush tool over here. We have our same kind of settings over here, size, feather. And you can, let me just show you kind of large scale what this can do. So if I were to draw over her forehead, for example, and like I said, you want to preserve like the freckles and all of that, but just to show you what it does, I've drawn over this part up here, and you can reduce the texture, reduce the clarity, and it's just going to kind of soften the skin and give it a more airbrushed look. But you don't want to go too crazy with that. That's just something that you can do for certain areas that might have some textural problems, but this model has fairly good skin and she's got those cute freckles, so I'm keeping it. You can also use those to kind of brighten up under the eyes with the exposure. If I wanted to draw attention to my eyes here, for example, I could come into my brush tool. I could add a new brush and use it to color over just the eyes. So I'm just clicking and dragging over top of my eyes. And then this one over here, being a little sloppy with it, but you get the idea. And then I can come over here and I can do things like brighten up the eyes just a little bit, maybe increase the contrast. Maybe I want the whites to be a little bit whiter. Let's see, maybe the saturation. And then that'll just kind of draw attention to the eyes a little bit more. But you don't want to go crazy. You don't want it to look like a creepy doll or like just over edited and completely unreal. So be really careful about that. Minor adjustments are always better, and then you can always add more. So if I wanted to just adjust the iris here, then I would have to add a new brush tool and go just around the iris area. I'll color in the pupil too. So before I had the whites of my eyes included, and now I'm just coming in and I'm coloring around the iris. And then I can come over here if I wanted to increase the saturation. I don't want to go too crazy though, but just to show you guys the things that we can do here. So we can make all these little adjustments if I wanted to change the colors of them a little bit. But you want it to be true to your model. I'm just trying to show you guys what you can do. I don't want to get carried away. So there is what we have. I do think I overdid it a little bit with the eyes, but I just wanted to show you what you guys can do, but don't go too crazy, like I said. So that's our healing brush tool. We used that for the zits up here. And then the regular brush tool, another thing you could do is maybe color in the mouth and then adjust the saturation there if you want to draw a little bit more attention to the lips, since they are kind of muted in this picture. But it's up to you guys what you do. I just want you to kind of practice, try things out, and get a feel for it.